Guys, I've got burgers cooking in the background, so this is going to have to be super quick in 2 5-minute halves, because 5 minutes flip, 5 minutes flip, apparently. Now, I have a private client, and I love her dearly, so don't take this personally, but she's freaking out about interview. She's competing in her dream pageant in, let's say, 2 weeks. I think about 2 weeks. And she did a mock interview, and she said it went really badly, and someone told her director, the person she was mocking with told her director, and there's a whole freak out. She said she's very discouraged. Now, I've been working with this client close enough 6 months, and she's gotten a lot better. We've discussed a lot of things. We practiced tirelessly. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you have worked even half as hard as this girl, this woman has, you must have gotten better. Unless something is going drastically wrong and you've literally been practicing, I don't know, something that's completely antithetical to pageant interview, you can't spend, and this is not her first pageant, okay? And it's not like she did horrifically in interview before. So you can't possibly have worked on it tirelessly for 6 months and have gotten worse. But here's what happens, okay? And I'll give you a sports example. It is quite commonplace for people, for athletes, to practice super hard on a skill, really want something. Maybe it's winning a tournament, winning a fight, winning a pageant, whatever it is. And they practice, they're getting better, they're feeling good. And then what happens? Under pressure, it falls apart. Not all the time. Sometimes, maybe more often than they'd like, maybe under specific situations. For example, some athletes prefer performing in front of a home crowd. Some feel that it's way too much pressure and they perform terribly at home, but they do really well in almost hostile environments. And my point to you is this: if you are someone, if you've been practicing hard, working hard, and that's an if, I'm not saying everyone has, but if you've been working tirelessly on a skill for your pageant, or for anything else for that matter, whether it's your walk, your interview, your onstage question, your talent. If at this point you do a practice, you do a dress rehearsal, or God forbid you do the real thing, and it goes catastrophically wrong, I'm going to tell you, this is my contention, it can't possibly be remedied by you working more on the same thing. There's only one possibility here. You've been working on the wrong thing, or you've been practicing wrong, or I said, there's one thing, it's all mindset, that's what I mean. The possibility is you've gotten so in your head that you're overthinking everything. The one thing that it can be is mindset. For whatever reason, maybe you got inside your own head. As I said, maybe you've been overthinking, or maybe you've been guilty of practicing without pressure. And so you're really good in the practice room, you're really good in a mock when you're comfortable with everyone, but as soon as there's that bit of pressure, you freeze, and that's when it goes bad. So if this is happening to you, first off, so for example, if you're competing soon and you have a practice and it goes badly, burgers. Okay, 5 minutes left to do this video, and those burgers are smelling really good. You need to practice the right thing. And I don't mean, well, I've been practicing interview because I'm doing interview. No, your practice, there's smoke. Your practice needs to be specific, and it needs to include pressure, especially once you have the basics and you're doing pretty well. You need to start introducing real pressure, things that make your heart beat, things that make you nervous, things that give you that dry throat. And for everyone, it's a bit different. What does it exactly? But you need to introduce it. And if you only have a week or two before your pageant, obviously you're going to need to introduce it quickly. But this is why I really dislike the idea of any of you being completely reliant on, let's say, a once a weekly practice or a mock interview or a coach to tell you what's going on. You need to know. You need to be, someone just sent me a cool video. You need to be responsible and accountable and intelligent. Now, you need to not catastrophize it. So if a practice goes badly, I get that's not a good feeling. But I don't want you to go, oh my God, I've been practicing for 6 months. This is the end of the world. This is useless. This is a hopeless case. I'm gonna lose. Because from that mentality, now I get everyone, you're all entitled to one freak out. I'm gonna say one, okay, in the lead up. But once you get over that, even if that were true, which it's not, is it helpful to be catastrophizing? Or like, oh my God, it's over. I guess I'm just not a good into. No, it doesn't help anyone. So stop doing it. Stop wasting time. Stop draining your emotions on catastrophizing and think. And this is what I sent my client. It doesn't make any sense that after all this work, and it's been going well overall, I'm not saying like progress is linear, but it's been going well, you've been feeling good. Why at this point, suddenly, would it all go to crap, right? Why at this point, 2 weeks before the pageant or whatever it is, now you'd suddenly be going, oh my God, I can't interview. It can't be you've suddenly lost the skill, right? Unless you literally knock your head and you have retrograde amnesia. It can't be going badly now because of a lack of practice, a lack of work, a lack of focus. There can only be one reason, and it's mindset. Now, there can be slightly different flavors of it. You might simply have been overthinking. Maybe you had a bad day. Maybe you have other stuff that's going on in your life and that's distracting you. But the solution is universal. You need to get your mindset under control. You need to utilize your emotions, not be the victim of them. This is why I say, and I stole this, but it's true, success in pageants is 80% psychology, it's only 20% mechanics. 80% psychology and mindset, 20% of your talking points, keeping it timed well, okay? And so if it's falling apart at this point, this close to the pageant, and you've been practicing for 6 months, 12 months, 4 years, 10 years, do you really think it's a coincidence that it's starting to go horrifically wrong with only 2 weeks to go to the pageant? No, no way. So you need to analyze what's going on inside my head that's preventing me from giving my best, not just practicing more. Because practicing more is what got you to this problem in the first place. You've been practicing until you're blue in the face. There's something missing. Always, when something like this happens, don't catastrophize, because that's when you just go, I need to practice more, I need to practice more, I need to practice more. No. Take a step back, don't catastrophize and go, hang on, what's really going on here? Am I too in my head? Is there a specific question that gets me off track? Like that question that you feel, whatever it is, we all have our version of that. Was I just having a bad day? And if so, how can I overcome it? Ooh. All right, the burgers are ready. We'll give them, man, they smell good. I apologize if you're vegetarian. I'm going to leave them to rest a bit so I can just finish this off. So number one, really important, don't catastrophize, because if you start thinking the world is over and that you're hopeless, your ability to access your potential and your innermost resources, the ability to marshal them, to conquer this and to get over this, and make no mistake, you can conquer this, all right? The only reason you can't is because you decide to catastrophize it and that it's over. It ain't over till it's over, okay? And it's not over because in this case, as I said, working hard for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is, it ain't over. This is something that you can conquer, but you won't be able to deal with it if you catastrophize it, okay? So that's number one. Stop making a mountain out of a molehill. And you go, oh, you don't understand. No, I understand. I do. And what I'm telling you is that if you make a mountain out of a molehill, if you make one bad practice, the meaning of that, you make it that I'm hopeless at interview and it's over. There's no way I can win. This has all been a giant waste of time. If you make that the meaning, yeah, you're going to lose. And you deserve to, because you didn't control your mindset. And the game is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. I know it's harsh to say you deserve to lose, but let's be honest. The mindset, the psychology, is really what separates people in pageantry. It's what separates people in any elite sport or any competitive sport. But sport at least has objective metrics. Was it a World Cup song? The rule for what constitutes a goal. That's very black and white. Pageantry doesn't really have that. It's so subjective, which means you need to be psychologically even stronger than most competitive athletes. So stop catastrophizing, number one. And then number two, after you stop catastrophizing, go rant, go cry, whatever you need to do, get it out. And then say, look, I'm committed to winning. What's really going on here? It doesn't make sense that I could suddenly lose all my skills overnight. No. I refuse to believe that. What's really happening here? Did I just have an off day? And if so, by the way, what can I do to make sure that doesn't happen during the interview? Okay, that's a good question to ask yourself, and that's intelligent. That's not catastrophizing. So if I just had a bad day, what can I do to make sure that doesn't happen again? Maybe it's warming up. Maybe it's making sure you've had enough rest, that you've had enough to eat, whatever it is. Okay, maybe I was distracted by something else that's going on in my life. And if so, either deal with that situation. If you can't deal with it, you need to learn to compartmentalize and have the mental fortitude to focus in and zone in. Again, you're going to have to work on that. That is a skill. And maybe it's a situation that's only recently happened to you in your life, but you're going to have to deal with it. Okay, and you absolutely can. Don't kid yourself that you can't. All right? So maybe you've had a bad day. Maybe there's something distracting you in life. Or maybe, and this is a crazy idea, you are so in your head, you're so over-practiced, you're so overthought that you have thought yourself into an absolute quagmire and you can't answer your way out of a wet cardboard box. Because you've made this too big a deal in your head. You have made this life or death. You cannot interview well, guys, if you make it life or death. In life or death, we go into fight or flight. You can't access your higher resources. It literally becomes only about survival. You look for the quickest exit from the situation. And in this case, flubbing the interview would be the quickest exit. Like, screw all this, I'm out of here. Doesn't matter if I do terribly, at least I don't have to face the music anymore because it's going terribly. This is embarrassing, yada, yada, yada. Guys, it's not life or death. You need to be smarter than that. This is why I say perspective is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. Because sometimes what we make out to be life or death is absolutely nothing. Now, I say that with full due respect to when you're going through it, it feels like everything. But let's be honest. Most of you listening to this, most of you watching this, if you're living in the Western world, your idea of the worst day possible, you go, oh my God, I screwed up my pageant interview. I've been working this for 4 years, for 10 years, and now I've lost my chance. I'm aging out. Okay. How much of the world doesn't have access to free running water? All right. How many people grow up in a broken household or a parent where one or both parents suffer from substance abuse or addiction? How many children are sexually abused or sexually trafficked around the world? Now you go, okay, but that's got nothing to do with it. No, it does. That's one of the greatest gifts from interviewing people that I've had who've been through dark times. I go, wow, I thought I was having a bad day. My life ain't that bad. And if you can make it through that, maybe I can make it through a pageant interview. Maybe. But guys, you can decide whether to throw this back in my face or not. I'm here to tell you, if it's going catastrophically bad in your head, but you've been working really hard, I guarantee you it's not a skill issue. It's a mindset issue. Maybe there's a little insight that you need, something that will blow this whole game open, right? It's not life or death. Maybe that'll do it for you. Or maybe it's not about interview, it's about persuasion. Or maybe it's not an interview, it's a conversation. Or you know what? Maybe it's not life or death. Maybe it's a chance to just have fun and have a chat. Tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to perform at your best. I don't care if it's true or not. Okay, this is what I said about God and religion. I don't care whether it's true or not, whether God exists or not. My life is better that I believe in an afterlife so I get to see my sister and my loved ones who passed on. I have no interest in debating someone on whether God is real or not. Who cares? My life is better believing in an afterlife. Your interview will be better if you don't treat it like a life and death situation. Please don't do that. I know why you do it, and I'm telling you to stop. Okay? I can tell you all the reasons why you're treating it as life and death when it's not. Thing is, you're going to argue with me and say that I don't understand, even when you know I do, and you know I'm right. But you're trying to defend your own psychosis, which, look, you defend it all you want, but I'm telling you, the people who do best in interview, if I was to tell you the secret now, is they actually enjoy it, right? Think of people who do news or do a lot of podcasts or do a lot of live videos. The ones who love talking, but are also intelligent enough to realize that they can't just keep talking endlessly and that somehow that's entertaining, because that's rubbish. That's not. You just don't know how to shut up. But the ones who love communicating and practice doing it strategically, intelligently, guys, watching it back, have I said that enough? They see themselves. They're not stupid enough to go, no, I don't want to ever watch myself because I can't stand myself. Then how are you going to improve? You're literally telling me you want to win, but you don't want to improve. That doesn't make any sense. You don't deserve to win if you're not willing to confront how you look, how you sound, and you're not willing to confront the truth. That's my estimation. But those people, they have a presence, they have a gravitas, they have a certain personality, and when they talk, people go, I like this person. And I can't tell why. It's because they enjoy interview, they enjoy communicating. Whereas you are rigid and uptight. I need to mention all my talking points. Oh my God, 30 seconds. Oh my God, it's life or panic. Oh my God, I screwed that up. We don't like being around people like that who are very highly strung. I don't. Maybe you do. But I don't like drama. I don't like drama queens. It can be funny when you ham it up on purpose for comedic effect. Don't get me wrong. But someone who catastrophizes continuously, someone who keeps making mountains out of molehills. And guys, that is a decision. You can have one bad practice and say, bad practice, what can I learn from it? Okay, let's recover, let's go. Or you can make it, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It's your choice, guys. So number one, if you're having these last minute jitters, number one, stop catastrophizing, if I haven't said that enough, so that number two, you can marshal and access your higher resources, your resourcefulness, your intellect, your courage, your resilience, to really figure out what is really going on. And then finally, final piece, once you figured out what's going on, final piece, do something about it. If you're not good at dealing with pressure, introduce pressure. Exposure therapy. If you're not sure how to deal with it, honestly, go talk to ChatGPT. It'll come up with some sort of solution, and maybe it won't be the best, but it'll be pretty good. Ask a therapist. Ask a parent. Ask a pageant friend. But number one, stop catastrophizing. Number two, so that you can access your higher resource and really figure out what really is going on. And then number three, so that you can put an action plan in place. I got burgers to eat, guys. I will see you next week.